I find it so funny, so ironic, so hilarious even, that they want so much from us as men, but give us and offer us so little. And what's also ridiculous is that the decline in issues with men, and I've also heard that there are women who are complaining about, oh, why are we talking about men? It's because 90% of the discourse socially is about you, lady. Shut up. Once again, men's problems, women are most affected. That's essentially what it is now. And that's part of the reason why they're talking about it. Because it is starting to affect the women and the government. The women aren't getting the workhorses and the validation they want. The government is not getting the manpower and tax dollars that they want because, lo and behold, surprise, ladies are pretty lazy and they don't like to work. And if they do like to work, they're going to have babies, they're going to have kids, they're going to prioritize the family or their children above work because men like objects, women like people generally. And I would say don't let up. Continue outsourcing your relationships as much as possible. If the chick in the West does seem like she's worthwhile, she's a good girl, she's traditional, mess with her. But the majority of these heifers out here are not worth your time. It's unfortunate, but it's true. They either fat, have a bad attitude, or have a high body count, or a combination of all three. Then don't even get me started on the non-religious folks, but that's another story for another time. Now, the main issue, the reason why men are dropping out of society and the workforce, at least on the workforce side, it's that most of these workplaces are toxic. And it's primarily because of very poor management. Essentially, they are promoting retards and useless butt kissers to management positions. People that are straight up no good because they are not good leaders. Then add females to the mix. You have a gender that is not naturally capable of leadership, handling the stress, handling all the insanity that comes with it. You end up with a lot of problems. And what I find to be almost ridiculous, insane, but kind of not a surprise is that 9 times out of 10, when the female CEO screws up, she points fingers at everybody else. And I'm just like, ma'am, you're the one in charge, basically, aside from the board. But you're pretty much in charge. You're the one who steered this ship into the wrong direction. But hey. And then you have the whole return to office stuff. That's part of the reason why a major part of the workforce is leaving. And also why men don't want to be there. If they don't want to have to deal with a toxic boss, a stupid gynocentric environment, they can just log in, do their job from their home, and log off. What's the point of showing up there? And it's all to enforce or to, I guess, strengthen the egos of psychopaths, sociopaths, and narcissists and females in the workplace. I'm in charge of all these minions. And at some point, the useless bosses will actually have to show their worth. Can you lead? Can you make the right decisions? 9 times out of 10, these goofballs don't. And they just depend on the hard work of hard workers. And as an aside, if you are a hardworking person, value yourself. Make sure you're getting the best salary you can. And if you're at a place that's not paying you what you feel like you really should be getting paid, 3 to 6 months, closer to 6, as I would say, of your expenses, have that saved. Make sure you have something lined up and jump to that better paying, better work environment, better work-life balance job. Because it's not worth wasting your time with retards that can't get the job done. Okay? I'm one of the folks who made that jump. It's working out pretty good for me so far. So we'll see where we go from here. Back on topic. The pay sucks. Now, with the rise in inflation and the increase in women in the workforce comes the rise in the expectations. So the ladies aren't just looking for a man who has a decent paying job. They want that and then some. They want Mr. Six Figures, 6 foot, 6 inches, which most of them don't qualify for, but that's another video. I might have to actually go into the whole obesity and attractiveness drop in Western or particularly American women, since I'm American. But the pay sucks. With inflation and all of that, how is a man supposed to take care of himself, let alone a family, with garbage pay? And then the requirements on top of that. And some of these jobs really do not require a degree of any sort. It's just silly credentialism that the ladies are going to run and get. But the funny part is a lot of them are dropping out of the workforce because they can't handle it. It's the women and the effeminate men that can't handle the grind. I mean, at the end of the day, regardless of whether the inflation is good or not, you have to go make ends meet. And as a man, you're going to be more inherently, naturally geared towards that because, one, there isn't that much of a security net for you. You know, if you don't have a penis and you don't have kids, you are not going to be getting a lot of government assistance. You'll get some, unless you can pretend to be autistic or something. But 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be getting the funds that you think you should be or would be. And we need to start giving men a society that's worth fighting for. Actually put the men, the people who manage, run, build society at the forefront. Because that's the funny part, because men really are the real value. There's a reason why all these obnoxious harpies are pissed off at Passport Bros, or as you're starting to hear some women like, I don't like dating a man who knows his worth. As I said, there's a previous video where I mentioned the female component of relationships, especially when we're dealing with the toxic modern woman, is psychological. She's trying to wear you down. She's trying to make you value yourself less so that you don't understand that you could walk away. She falls apart into a million pieces. And especially in the cases where a woman leaves her husband and then he's doing just as good or better than what she expected. You know, she's crying and falling apart because it's not because she loves him. It's because she missed out on an opportunity. Now, where the line of female nature and cancerous Western female culture, it's a gray area. But I have a feeling that, you know, some woman in China, if she left her husband and then he turns out to be a multimillionaire after they divorced, she's probably going to be just as pissed off. But hey, you got to as I said, a lot of these women, they think they're worth, you know, a Fabio billionaire, and there aren't that many Fabio billionaires. And ma'am, you're 40 pounds overweight and you're 35 years old and you're not the most pleasant person to be around. And you're not that pretty. You're a 6 at best on a good day. Come on now. But I digress. Men today have been given all the responsibility and none of the authority, and that's the problem. You're responsible for your family while you're with them. You're responsible essentially for your family when they leave. That's why we need to get rid of alimony and child support. If you're a big girl, then you can go take care of that family, because 9 times out of 10, single dads typically don't run around looking for child support or alimony. And honestly, if we're going to be fair, neither gender should be paying for that. It's silly. Okay. Now, from an Islamic point of view, you can give, you know, your wife a certain amount and after you guys leave, but there's nothing that comes after that. You know, you have to finance some woman's standard of living, quote unquote, for 18 years, 20 years, or until she finds the next guy. That's crazy. We really do need a society that caters to men and a workplace that caters to men. You know, we make society run. And you know what's great about this? We don't get pregnant. So the whole, the maternity leave that they're pushing now on the Harris ticket and for Trump, we don't need that. I know a lot of guys say, oh, I was only spend 3, but you have to go make that money either way, sir. So who's going to, once again, no matter what culture, pretty much, who's going to be looked at to take care of that family? Okay. Because mama could be in the hospital bed for a couple days or at home a couple days with the baby. You have to go make that bacon. Okay. You have to go get that bread. All right. let's not pretend like this is anything else than what it is, because really that legislation is basically just welfare for single moms and for women in general. That's all it is. Because I could more than less bet you, but I'm not a betting man, that more than likely, most of the time, the fathers are going to spend a lot less time on that maternity leave than the mothers. And this whole flip-flop with the house husbands, I'm sorry, that just seems like weak beta kind of behavior. I can't really co-sign that. I really can't. Handle your business, sir. Take off the apron. And it's funny because there was some research done that basically showed that even if you do, as a man, do half or more of the household chores and stuff, she doesn't respect you. And like that female doctor, more than likely, who ended up, was it full of cocaine with her panties off, I think over OD dead in a hotel room, that she allegedly spent time with 2 dudes who weren't her husband. She's probably going to cheat on you because she thinks you're beta. She thinks you're less of a man. That's just how it works. Don't pretend, oh, my wife's a career woman. How many people in her office or at conferences did she have sex with? Because if you stick that woman up to a lie detector, you're going to be really surprised and very disappointed. And then when it comes to the unequal roles or unequal shackling or yoking, as we will, men ages, I think it was 18 to 26, if they want to vote, they also have to be registered for selective service. So in order to vote, you have to sign yourself away to the federal government. If you're a female, there's no such consequence. Now, the draft, I feel, should not exist. But if we are going to be fair, then the women have to be drafted as well, or get rid of the right to vote, which I'm 110% agreement with. I mean, letting women vote got Canada Justin Trudeau. And this guy has been a garbage, wet blanket politician for quite a while. Useless, ineffective, emasculated. Now, in conclusion, I hope that at some point we will have the changes that we need and that we actually care about. In the meantime, live life essentially by your own rules. Now, there is a certain level of civic duty you need to engage in, you need to believe in. But if someone's getting mad at you for not dating a single mom, they're blue-pilled, they're not caring about your best interests, okay? If someone's getting upset with you because you want to find a woman abroad, they are not your friend. If someone's getting upset with you because you want a prenuptial agreement, they are not your friend. Okay. The reality is that men do need to be more selfish. They do need to be more self-centered. They need to actually care about themselves and put themselves first. Because if you don't put yourself first, you won't be able to take care of anyone else.